My name is John Grayson. I'm the defensive coordinator for the Morton Mustangs. We are in Berwyn, Illinois, which is about a half hour west of downtown Chicago. We play in the West Suburban Conference. For my money, it's one of the best, if not the best conference in the state of Illinois. This is my 12th year coaching. First year as a defensive coordinator. I've been a linebackers coach. I've been a special teams coordinator, defensive line coach, kind of done it all. I've been a part of 3 state championship programs. So certainly learned a lot from some great coaches. And yeah, I'm excited to get started.
My name is Chad Masters. I'm the offensive coordinator at Bishop DeBerg High School in St. Louis, Missouri. This is my 24th year of coaching, 12 of which I spent as a head coach. Originally started in mid-Missouri, kind of around Columbia, Missouri. Helped start a football program at a small Catholic high school in Columbia, Missouri called Father Tolton Catholic High School. Then from there moved to St. Louis to take over a Catholic high school in St. Louis. Kind of the last 3 years, and then had a little bit of disagreements to the vision and where that program was going. So I took a great opportunity to become the OC at a small Catholic high school, which I do like that size schools, and become an OC for a program that's trying to build itself back up. So really excited for this opportunity and to work with those kinds of kids that make up that school and help out a young head coach and really just kind of sit back and enjoy coaching again. So love throwing the ball around. Even though I grew up as a phone player back in my high school days, I think I went the complete opposite direction now. But excited to just talk football and coach young men and make a difference. So that's kind of what drives me. Stick. So now how we would do this is typically we'd run this. My Z and Y will always be aligned to the right. My X and H will always be aligned to the left. Now I can motion, or not motion, but shift, motion, whatever, move the H to another spot, but I'll predominantly be in a doubles look for the most part. They're always going to align in that spot. Running back will align basically on where the play is needed, depending on what it is. Now, don't get too excited down there, Coach. That does not necessarily mean it's going to tip you where the play is going. It's just about where the play he's going to be needed for that play. So I always want to make sure that's clear too. So we're going to be running this to the left of the field side. I can run it to both sides. We can just call it, which way or what we want to do on that. Everybody knows what to run on whether the front side or back side. So this way to the left, my X receiver will run a mandatory outside release vertical pass. He's going to try to get to the top of the numbers and hold the top of the numbers. So in this case, he's aligned on the hash. I can, depending on the arm strength, the quarterback align a little wider, but he's going to get there and get on top of numbers and hold that bottom number. So if my quarterback does choose to throw that vertical ball, it is going to be from the bottom of the numbers to the sideline, giving a nice lane there, open area for him to throw that into if needed. But he has to release outside, particularly if coach has got an inside alignment. It really makes it necessary for him to get outside, not try to get inside on that, because I don't want him interfering with the stick concept underneath. So to go to the stick concept, I have my H receiver, my inside receiver, who's splitting the difference between the tackle and X. Again, I can play with that depending on what we want to do. We can widen him out and have him run more of a snag inside. Either way, he's going to get into that kind of middle area, invert kind of side. And he's going to attack that. He's trying to find the space between what be coach's outside linebacker and inside linebacker. He's going to run a stick route. And we talk about that. I've done it multiple ways. I've done it 6 to 5. Actually, we've been running a lot lately of a 5 to a 4, so it happens quicker. So it's not a deep hitch route necessarily. It's got to get open now and fast to make that invert player make a decision at that point. So he's going to run that. He's going to try to find that open spot, so the inside, left or right there. By alignment, he's going to assume right now that he's going to open inside to that void between him and that backer to the inside. My running back will run a arrow route. I like arrow more than swing, mainly because on the swing route, he can swing out I think sometimes a harder pass to complete, but more importantly, I think that arrow will pull the attention of the defense faster, especially that outside linebacker, by attacking that area right away. So he's going to run the arrow route and basically going to try to rub off the back of that H. He's no deeper than 5 on the on. It'd be hard to get to the sideline from this position on the field, but he's aiming for that point, so he's going to get out fast. Backside, my Y, who's the inside receiver, there is going to run what we call a scant, a skinny slant. So basically, especially in the tight quarters over there, he's going to head directly to that invert player and then basically rip through inside, making almost like a skinny slant or skinny post, and never come into the box really. I never want him to get over the top of that other inside backer there. He's just basically just going to try to pull that guy out and up through. The Z receiver there will run a hitch. Now, depending on what happens there, he can actually, I'd rather him run that hitch and then kind of dig inside on like a 5-yard in. Okay, we call that a fat slant a lot. So he can hitch up. Depending on how if that guy keeps backing out, he's gonna hitch up right there. But if he's gonna fight him a little bit, break that inside on a 5-yard in, which we call a fat slant. So if you get into the quarterback read, we'll talk about protection here. So do you want me to talk? I'm assuming you want protection being talked about too. Our quarterback's going to basically read this and find what we talk a lot as an area guy, open grass. Where do we have the numbers? Where do you see the open grass? Ideally, I'd like for him, right now I'm looking at this, and the safety is above our hard deck. He's 10 yards more back. We don't count him. So effectively, we got 3-on-2 to the field, 2-on-2 to the backside. I still think a 2-on-2 can be okay, because it's even. That can be a win for us possibly. But I like that 3-on-2 matchup to the field. So I'm going to have the quarterback look to that field side and run that. As soon as the snap of the ball, the first one he's going to check, does he want to throw it? It's a yes or no situation on that vertical. Does he want to run it or not? With coach's corner point playing off a little bit, I'm going to say I'm not really sure I want to take that shot, okay, especially on play 1 of the game. Although some people may say go and take a shot on play 1 of the game. I'm going to probably play a little more conservative than that and say we're not going to take that. Now, if it's a yes, he's basically a one-step, long-step thing onto the numbers or towards the field or the boundary in between the numbers and the boundary on that field side. That's a long throw, though. That's why we want to try to avoid that also. So we're going to say he's got to kick down to our stick concept. His eyes are looking right at that invert player, that Sam linebacker right there. He's going to want, the initial throw is going to be to the running back. That's where he wants to stick that thing right now. Because the only person really that could cover him technically, I'm sure Coach got something cooked up, is either be that free safety coming down or that will linebacker coming out. So I'm going to think right now, I want to hit that A, okay? But as he takes that additional step, okay, he's going to take that step, get his feet set, he's going to look at that Sam backer. Is he hanging on to that hitch route? If he is, throw the A immediately. If he wants to go right now to that A, he's going to hit that hitch. And that's one of the reasons why we're going to shorten down that hitch route from a 6-5 to a 5-4, so we can identify that a little quicker and still maintain the spacing there. Protection wise, again, that quarterback, once he makes a decision, is going to be really to the left. He's going to take the snap. He's going to take one step, get his foot underneath him, and throw it. Okay, our quick routes are one step and throw. We're not going to waste a lot of time on it. We don't want to hold it. Our offensive line, we got 5 up there. We got 3-foot splits. They're square. They're vertical set team. Quick routes, in this case, are Y stick concept. We're going to go ahead and basically it's almost 2 steps back, inside, outside, back, staying square. We're going to basically give a Ringo call here because our back's aligned to the left, all right? And that's going to let the center know that he's got number 0 player, and that's the nose right at the top of him, okay? So that backside backer is covered. Now, he's only got 5. We can go 5 for 5 right here, okay? But our guards will take number 1, our tackles take number 2, knowing that we don't have anybody to block at number 3 over there, but that's when the ball's got to come out pretty quick. So that is pretty much our first concept of Y stick. Now, 2 things I can do off this, which we do coach our kids on. I can switch this Okay, I can switch this. If I don't like this look, I could run a switch. In this case, I'm going to run X in on a snag route, okay, right to where the same place H would be, and H now on a corner, and I'm going to aim for the front pylon of the end zone on that corner. I do like that versus a one high a lot of times. Stick I think is a little bit better for two high, one high for what we call Y corner. The other thing I can do is my quarterback does have the option. We tell him this regularly: is your job is to get the running back 1,000 yards on the season. So if he's got 5-on-5 in the box here with no one else and that preset is over, he can check that to a draw right now. Okay. And if it's a draw right now, it's basically going to be pretty simple. It's going to be, pass set and then release and pick up whoever basically aligned on the, who you're going to pass block anyway. I can also check that to a quarterback lead draw if really felt necessary there. I run that to 5 or 6. So that would be our play one, our Y stick concept, which we can change to a Y corner, or we can check into a draw if our numbers are favorable right there.
Be into the hash. We would check to our quarter half defense, and I'll just start with the front and move it on back. We're in a 5-0-5 up front. That tackle and end are a tackle is the guy to the strong side, just to differentiate the two. The tackle and the end are Russian. I always tell the guys 2 yards outside the quarterback, especially if he's a mobile guy. We've all seen that guy with that kill shot come right off the edge, aim right for the quarterback. He breaks his pocket, and he's gone to the races. The nose, last year and this year, we're going to have a big nose, so he's just a two-gapper. He's not really going to give us a lot in the way of pass rush unless it's a 3rd and long. But this being 1st and 10, it would be our big fella out there. To the backers, we call him the star. The star is going to be outside shade of the H. He's gonna pop his feet and then get out to the flat. Our buck linebacker is one of our inside guys because we're to the hash. He's going to be outside the box. He's gonna drop. He's gonna have eyes on that H, so he's looking 2 to 1. The Mike now is normally he's in the middle. He's a free hitter, but he's gonna bump over and take over that spot that the buck vacated. So it's a similar read for him. Generally, he's kind of the guy we play games with. He's going to be our blitzer. He's going to be, a spy kind of guy. But for the sake of this is our, I'm going to call our base defense on 1st and 10 from the 50. I'm not, kind of like a boxing match. We're going to jab a little bit, kind of figure out who's doing what, where we're going. So I'm not a guy that's going to send a lot of pressure 1st and 10 from the 50 to start the game. I think I did it once last year and they hit us for a big play. So that's what happens when you get adventurous. So that Mike's going to bounce a P gap, and he's going to be, hook to curl player. The Will, we're a mirror defense, so he's doing the same thing the Buck is on the other side. He's looking 2 to 1. The Viper is our weak side outside linebacker. With this being on the hash, he doesn't have a lot of room to go, but he's going to get to that weak flat. Now, as terms of the secondary, that free safety is going to bump over. He's going to be outside the tackle box. We're going to be playing that quarter half to the field. Our corner is going to be, depending, you being an air raid guy, I would obviously know that going into the game. So I might give him a little bit more cushion. He's usually 1x7 inside if we're going, just regular base stuff. But with chucking it around, I might give him a little bit more cushion. Also, it depends on who we have out there. This coming year, we're going to be a little bit more athletic. So I might not give him as much of a cushion. That free safety is going to bump over. He's going to play that other side of the, the quarter. And then that weak corner, he's almost in, if you had one guy over there, he'd almost be man man on him, but he's going to take the other half of the field. With the routes that you're running, hopefully that corner covers that X. That star is gonna hold. If you do check down to that back out of the backfield, we're gonna rally to that. But we call it a Z technique. He's gonna take 2 pops, and then eyes on that H, and then drop to the flat. Hopefully that buck covers your H. But I really like, you said you run that at about 4 yards. To get out to. I mean, if that's a throw and catch, we're gonna have to rally and tackle that. We call that our no fly zone. So anything under 5, we're panic on. But what offensive guys do is they'll throw 2 or 3 at 3-4 yards. My guy will suck up and they'll go right for the top. So hopefully that buck is reading that the right way. That Y, you said it's like a skinny slant. The Viper and the Will would hopefully communicate that in to the mic. So he could, because the mic's going to open to the field, and that skinny slant coming from the other side, hopefully we're going to communicate that. And then, the Viper and the Will, after they communicate that Y and that skinny slant, your Z, they're going to have to be in good communication there, that slant, to get that covered up. So this is just our check to the field, quarter, half. We do it, every time. And, hopefully if we communicate right and rush the passer a little bit, we can get you guys covered up there.
Yeah.
Given the down and distance, I imagine I'd be moving. If the original play I had in mind, I was going to send a backer, but we would probably check when you came out in that trip set, just because everybody's got to bump over, and we would be again in that quarter, half. But I would probably be on your own 23. I would be there would be some sort of movement, just because we got a little bit of a cushion with that 7-point lead. The tackle is going to be in his 5. We would just be a slant strong, excuse me. So he's going to be in his 5, still play his 5. That nose is going to slant to the strong A to your trips, and that end is going to slant to that weak side B gap towards your trips. There'll be a little bit of gap exchange up front. That Will linebacker is now going to take that weak side A gap, because that ends slanting into that weak side B gap. And that Mike is going to bump over, so he's going to take the B gap that was normally occupied by the Buck linebacker. That corner again is going to be playing that quarter, half. He's going to be playing the weak side corner, is going to be in that half. Viper's going to get out to the flat. 2nd and 5. We might hug him up a little bit more, just given the down and distance. But that would be more of a game plan specific thing. In this case, it would be just a little bit of movement. We got a little bit of a cushion, so we're going to try and make it a little bit more difficult on you. In this case, I was just thinking of a quick slant to your trips. So that nose, again, he's not going to give us a ton, but he's a big run stop in the field. There's the gap exchange. We checked the quarter, half that we explained in your trips, and hopefully you don't catch us.
Basically, what this is, it's a double screen, and we always run it the same way. Okay, we have the trip side, and then the single receiver side, which our back is offset to that. What we're going to do in this case is we want to throw it to the A initially. Primary, again, read right there. And so the A is going to swing wide. If he gets to the numbers without the ball, he is basically just going to turn and show chest at that point. Okay, just have a big target, but he's gonna basically open up and sprint and try to maintain the same level he's at. And what the problem is, people try to curl it up too fast. We want him not to think about getting any kind of forward until he gets out to the numbers at that point. So we really want him getting that thing wide. So the quarterback's going to check, and he's going to look to the defensive end to the side of that. He's going to throw that running back to the left side, or there's always going to be to the left. And in this case, if that defensive end, that tackle, if he sits or comes inside, he's going to throw it to the edge. Okay. Now we do two different things on the edge out there. We can have X just stalk up on the corner, just head up right there. Our tackle will pass set, our left tackle will pass set his 2 steps right there. Punch. He's got to punch that defensive lineman as he comes. Okay. Even if he rips across his face, he's got to punch that guy hard to try to throw him off release. Okay, and we coach these guys a lot on our tackles, our linemen, our receivers. There's always flat. So they're going to run flat 5 yards, which is about roughly 3 steps, I guess, roughly. But flat for 5, and then turn and pick up any kind of downhill player from different angles. So in one way, we'll have him go ahead and look for that and just get in the way, body up on him. We don't expect him to, have a great block. I usually tell him just to run through the body down. Nothing's more horrible and comical at the same time than watching an offensive lineman try to break down an open field and try to block a safety or is not good for anybody at that point. So he's just basically going to go flat for 5, find the person that this case is going to do to block, and then attack. There, just get in the way. I can switch that, and depending on what we really think, we can have the X crack down on the Viper, and then the tackle will go all the way out to the corner. Probably would only do that if we're into a shorter side of the field. I don't really like that as much. So that's the first initial read. Okay, there. If he doesn't like that, if he thinks numbers are better on the wide side, or he sees that tackle or an extra player come over there and a numbers advantage in that backside, or the tackle / in bolts out to cover that, or maybe sees a will linebacker on a blitz come around, he leads to the backside, will run a little bit of a tunnel screen to that side. Z will be the guy running this route. 2 steps upfield, back down the stick, inside and come towards the quarterback, showing chest and numbers. He's looking for the tackle to his side to get behind him. He doesn't want in front of him. He wants to get inside of that guy. Our Y and our 8 at for 5, and then pick up basically who's over number 1, who's the next guy down effectively. So Y will pick up the corner, H will pick up the strong safety, and then we're going to have the tackle come out and account for the buck as the overplay, catch that. We're going to have him, again, flat for 5, run contact right there. Right guard will go ahead and kick step back 2 steps, punch anything that shows. So if he has a blitzing linebacker come across his face or his area, he will punch that, okay, and then rip through. And he would like to pick up that play side linebacker, but if that guy's gone, he's going to continue on to level 1 or level 2 to level 3. Okay, and just block the alley, basically. Our nose and our our center and our left guard will basically stay on in a pass blocking situation. Most likely that center will stay on that nose right there, I go where he is, and that guard will pick up any extra, whether it's a defensive end cross in his face or a backer coming, he's going to slow that up. Okay, so the quarterback, he's got to predetermine, right away what he wants to do. He's got to turn and throw to the A. If it's not there, okay, then he's basically going to take another 3 steps back and hit that Z as he's coming down. Okay, just actually 2 steps back off of that initial step. Okay, just to reset and then get the feet there. So we call that surge. It's just an automatic. It's a 1 word. We know it. It's going to be run the same way, but it's in effect we get a screen ball on the perimeter. At times, we've also even constricted that the compress the set a little bit, but I actually like on the backside. I actually like it with everybody wide. because it gives a chance for athletes to be athletes in space. So that's what we'd run that, assuming we could get 5 yards out of that. If situation up 6, short yardage. I could run mesh. That is always obviously right there. Coach might thought I might go to that one. I feel like mesh down this direction, but I do want to go in this case with a counter. We are I've been back working a zone and a counter team. I do like can do both, but I'm a big fan of counter especially with a line that needs a little help at times as far as doubles and at point of attack. Also, the way you can overload the side a little bit. Plus, I like it for the RPO action because I think counter displaces linebackers a lot better than zone. I think a lot of people have gotten really good at fitting zone, but for you to fit counter, I think you've got to get guys over. So I think that really, is something they can do. So walk you through this. When we RPO, we talk front door, back door, front side, back side. The front side here, it would be to the right, the Z and the Y. So it's our basic grass concept. Again, stays consistent. We are a scant, okay, out of Y, the number 2. So again, he's going to try to rip through the strong safety over him, try to get in that space behind the outside the buck that's out there. And that strong safety. He will likely not be a factor in this case, just because he's got that free safety kind of sitting over top also. That's a real tight window. Z will do our fat slant again. Now, training our backs, I'm looking out here. There is 3-on-2 basically. As I'm having him look at that. I don't like that as an option for him to go to. Now, if the buck was tucked in, now we're 2-on-2. I'm discounting the safety because he's too high. He's above the hard tech. I could maybe do that, but again, with 3rd and 3, I'm not sure I want him throwing that front door. We try to coach him through that a little bit. So for now, what he's going to do is go run to backside, okay? The backside, what we're doing is we're running just a simple fast screen, X fast, okay? 2 steps up, back down the stem, look for ball right now. Get behind the block of the H and get vertical. We talk a lot about 4 for the team. Okay, 4-yard minimum. All right, and we work that 2-on-2 drill a lot to build that in them, kind of toughness attitude, both in blocking and also running the ball. Anything past 4 is on you. So in this case, you got to get the first down if he gets the ball. Okay, so and H again will basically take most dangerous. He'll go flat for 5 and find the most dangerous, block that guy. And then the bottom line is, in this regard, X is going to have to probably make somebody miss at this point and be tough if he gets the ball. Up front, we're going to run a counter scheme, which is our base scheme. So play side, right tackle, they will basically block down, okay, to backer. The right tackle has no one immediately in that gap. He's going to leave the outside guy. Now, if the end crosses his, he's going to block that guy on the track to the backside. Otherwise, he's ripping up to get to that little linebacker at level 2. Right guard will double with that nose. With the center on the nose. And I know Coach has got a big run in there, so I'm probably going to have an automatic double right there just to get some movement on that nose. But we'll combo that to the backside Mike. Right or left guard will pull and kick out. We do not give a wall option here. He must kick that out because we want it to be a physical. I think you give guys the option to, hey, we're going to log that guy. If he cuts in, well, then how many linemen have you seen actually will always try to log that guy now? We actually want the collision out of that left guard, kicking out that end. If nothing's there, he's just going to wrap up around if nothing shows. That means we block really well up front, obviously. The left tackle will pull around, okay, and he's looking for any leakage through there. Block first wrong color jersey. I do like to get him up to level 2, even a level 3 in this case. We're going to read that backside tackle. So the quarterback is going to fit it just like zone. Okay, he's going to stick the ball in the belly of the running back's basically just going to flat step over, okay, make a pocket, and then follow those linemen pulling. We're going to tell him to stay in the A front side A, knowing he's going to slide that out to B and C, okay? Tight. Otherwise, we don't want him bouncing out too fast. So he's gonna try to fit front side A and ride that thing out behind the pullers. Now the quarterback's reading that backside in there. If that guy, standard rules, if he closes, he's gonna pull, okay, and he's gonna run the backside right there. Eyes will immediately go to the Viper then, okay. And the Viper wants to trigger on the quarterback, he definitely throws that. If he wants to stay back there on that screen, then quarterback will keep it and hopefully get, again, 3 to 4 yards if we need. If the backside end sits, okay, or comes up field, he's going to give it on that counter right there. The quarterback does always have an option if he's feeling really good to just go ahead and tell that running back, we'll tell him ice, which means he's going to pull it and throw it. Okay, so if he really likes that backside screen, okay, by alignment or by he thinks this cat's better than that cat, he could just tell that running back ice, that running back's going to push up and get out of the way and let him throw that thing out to the side. So that'd be our standard counter play right there, where we can get a run, good front side run, making them fit on the defense there. And then also by reading a guy, we can go 5-on-4 in the box, but with 2 pass options. So telling my quarterback again, I'm saying no on the front side. I don't want that out there. There's not enough grass. They're out. They don't man us. I'm going counter run to backside screen.
Down 6. You're driving down. You're on R30 line. Do I have that correct, Coach?
Yeah, we're on the plus 31.
Okay. I'm probably it's getting later in the game. It's probably getting a little antsy. So with it being 3rd and 3, I think this blitz because that tackle and that end are going to pitch to those B gaps. That nose is again just I 3rd down usually he would come out of the game and we would sub in somebody a little bit more agile, mobile, hopefully hostile. But with it being 3rd and 3, I have a feeling I'm probably going to leave him in just because he's on 3rd and 3 really got a lot of options. So if you're going to the ball, I'm going to want him there. So that tackle and that end are going to pinch. I like sending that buck is with the hash and being on the and being defending your trips. He's been outside the box. But now he's outside the box. I'm gonna send him off the edge, which I think it's a different angle for him to come that people don't often. They're used to, I feel like they're used to that outside linebacker coming more than that displaced inside guy. So he's going to be rushing in that C gap again, aiming 2 yards outside that quarterback, trying to keep him inside. The will is going to come off the other edge. Hopefully he walks to it late, as his normal alignment would be to bump to be in the B gap for our quarter half defense. So the best kid I ever had do it, I was a sophomore defensive coordinator. This kid would actually walk like he was walking towards the sideline very slowly and then turn that corner, hit that edge. Never had anybody do it like that before, but I'm hoping that tackle is going to block down with it. Your tackle is going to block down with that end. And then that guy's going to come off the edge, hopefully come free. As you said, if that back run that route out to the out past either one of our blitzing backers, if anybody crosses their face, they're going to stop their path and run with them. And then coverage wise, we're going to be a little underneath with those 2 backers coming. But as I said, I had to stay true to myself. We're down 6. You're driving, and it's 3rd and 3. I know I'm sending some pressure. So we're going to be a little short, which is that Mike having the middle of the field, and then that the Star and the Viper are going to be those overhangs still. And I like sending the buck and the hill off the edge, but still having overhangs. I feel like I always have it in the back of my mind to send that. For us, we call it the Star and the Viper, but those two outside overhangs with a pinch. But I just feel like I've gotten caught so many times in my career as a lower level defensive coordinator, with those overhangs going, it's almost like there's like this flashbulb that goes off in offensive coordinators, like, hey, he doesn't have an overhang over there. We had an opponent week 2 this year. I tried to play some games and get creative, and as soon as that overhang wasn't there, this guy he would just check to a weak side run play or check, So I know I got to keep those overhangs there, because as soon as they're not, you're gonna right in that alley, and it's gonna go for 6. So yeah, the coverage is going to be the same. We're going to be in that quarter half, us being on a hash, but us being down 6. You're driving on our 31. It's third down. I'm gonna bring some pressure and try and make a play here. Hopefully, again, your tackles are going to bite down with those ends, the end and the tackle, and those guys coming off the edge from two different from two different spots. They're in the same spot on the line of scrimmage. That is coming from a displaced alignment, excuse me. And then he's going to start like he's just going to hang in that B gap and then hopefully walk to it late and come off that weak side edge. And, again, we're trying to catch up. We're playing catch up. It's getting later in the game. You're driving, hopefully bringing some pressure. We get there before you cause too much havoc. That's always the big gamble with the blitz. Hopefully your blitz gets there before something bad happens, because again, now we're bringing 5. We don't have as many guys in coverage. So yeah, again, the situation of the game, the yard line, the down, where we're at school, we're definitely going to bring some pressure, and this is a pressure that I like because it is still sound against the run. It is 3rd and 3. You can run it, you can throw it. You have a lot of options. So this gives us guys at the point of attack with staying, gap sound and having guys that are still there to stop the run, because again, you do have a lot of choices at 3rd and 3. Mike is going to be a spy. We have some guys in our conference that play quarterback that really give me a lot of gray hair and a lot of headaches. So in this situation, the last one our guys do is just turn and run. That sneaks it right up for a touchdown, and then I potentially get fired for not telling our not keeping an eye on the 4 quarterback there. So this situation, I'm gonna get that big fella nose out of there. We're gonna have more of a linebacker type rushing the passer. He's gonna be the guy that I'm really gonna make kind of go at that quarterback. That tackle in that end. They're not. We call it rush. It's not going to be something where they're spying or we want to get that back to make a decision. So it would be somewhere between kind of we call it a mud rush and rushing the passer. We want to put some pressure on him, but we don't want to again have him lose, have our guy lose contain or something to that. Again, we have some guys in our league that can hurt you if you do. So that Mike's going to be the guy that really keeps that quarterback where he's at, and I'm going to tell that nose to really get critical on that. But the other guys it's like I said, it's our base defense, but everybody's kind of already in their drop. I got this from a guy, as my wife says, one of my Twitter friends, Cody Gardner. We call it Cyclone. It's an Iowa State 3 safe thing. So that Buck and that Will are already going to be out of the box, and they're dropping almost straight back, looking for work. And if you'd like a better explanation, go check out Cody's video. But that Star and that Viper, again, they're already going to be in that flat, looking for work. The corner, the safety and corner are going to be protecting that goal line. That's a big time situational awareness play where we don't want to be covering the back of the end zone when all you got to do is get it to the front. So we're going to have those three guys really protecting that end zone and that goal line. That again is just he's going to be dropping, but it's going to be more of a spy capacity. And then that Will, that Buck, that Viper, and that Sam are going to be kind of that the rest of the five underneath guys, just trying to keep everything in front and make sure that we win the game. So really telling that nose to get after that quarterback, make his life a little difficult. The tackle in the end aren't going to rush like it's 3rd and 20. It's going to be somewhere between almost a spy and a regular pass rush. Because again, I don't want somebody breaking the pocket. Be an outside linebacker sucks up thinking that guy's going to run the ball and we just dump one over his head for a touchdown. So again, this is going to be one where we're not playing anything super complicated, and I think you've seen we really don't play anything complicated, but just having a great awareness of down distance situation in the game is hopefully what's going to out. But it seems like you have plenty of checks on every play, so it makes my life very difficult. So this is one where I'm doing one of these, or hoping that snap over somebody's head or something. But yeah, again, we're gonna conservative and try and keep everything in front of us and protect that goal line so that we can leave the game with a win there.
In this situation, we're presenting a three safety look, 3 up top, 3 underneath, right there, more or less. I mean, you are more. It may be a tougher look, but I'm hoping that we could. Goal in this case would be to hit one of those 2 meshers, the soft area right there. So kind of how we go through this is our Z. In this case, probably would not be the guy unless he's a dude. And run basically a vertical. Mandatory outside release. He's got to get to the back corner. Quarterback, in theory, could plop that thing in the very back corner for a jump. I'm not sure, unless that guy is just really special. I'm not sure that's the route we want to go right there. We always run mesh with our X and our Y. 6 yards over top of the center. Okay, and he's got to be that spot. X will come underneath and kind of rub a little bit. We're talking 5.5 aiming point right there. X will be underneath Y. My A and my H will both run arrows. Okay, and so those could be the quick dump offs right away. With only having technically 4 in the box, I can check it to a quarterback draw, but like Coach mentioned earlier, 2 seconds, I just got a dude right there. I'm probably not going to run a quarterback draw in that case, but he option. But if he calls it, he better score on it. Otherwise we might have a harder conversation there. But let's assume that he's not going to throw it. So what we're looking at here is our X and Y. I like the open areas in between the mic and then the 2 inside backers that are just side. So that's kind of where we want to look at. So depending on coverage here, Y is coming across. If he reads a man, okay, and the easy way for him to kind of see that is if he looks towards the other mesher, and if the guy over him is following him, it's man, okay? But if he gets that, as he clears that center, he's going to begin to curl upwards a little bit. depth right there. Again, trying to find that void between the free safety, the deep corner, and find that grassy area there. X will do comes across and he sees, hey, it's man. I'm reading man right here, whether it's in the pre-snap or also in the as he's going to again clears past that center A gap area on his other side. He's going to begin to curl it up again into that void, maybe the corner and that outside backer down. He's going to try to find that spot. And so the quarterback obviously is going to basically, in his assessment, if he's going to hang in there as much as he can right there, and then he's going to throw it to one of those spots. In this case, I'll tell him, go to the guy you feel most trust in to make. Had this last year. There's a guy who wasn't the biggest, the fastest, or the best athlete, but he could win about every 50-50 ball. So if I'm down there, I'm going to find ways for him to snatch and trust he's going to score for us in that situation. So find your dudes in this area. If they so they're coming across, you see zone, backers are dropping out. They're going to set up basically in the space over the tackle and show chest and catch it, dip, and get vertical as fast as you can to try to beat someone and win a toughness drill at the goal line to score. Pressure situation, okay? Let's say they bring the house here. He's got to get it out to his H or his A again. Who's the best guy to make it at that point? The only thing I'm going to say pretty much is we're probably not going to throw the Z. We're probably not going to check to a draw, even though he could in this case, into the wire X, depending on what void, what open grass is there on the mesh, whether it's zone or man. All right, thanks for Coach for having us on. Really enjoyed this. It's always fun time when we can get together and do a little chalk war and just talk some football. So there's a great opportunity not only for myself and for Coach Grayson, but also just for everybody that might be popping in to kind of check our knowledge out a little bit. Hopefully something to use that maybe can help you develop your programs on the road. The big thing I want to say is always just keep doing good. We are blessed with a great occupation, great profession to mentor young people, both in a classroom, but also on a field. And just hope that we always use that platform to really make their lives better and transform them. And to always keep the focus on them, not only in the skills of the sport, but really honestly, more importantly, teach them the skills they need to succeed in life. Because I truly believe coaches, if we take that, we can change our world and our community a little bit at a time, each and every day. And these kids need us, and the society needs us. And just keep doing the great work. I know that 98% of us out there are doing. It's a great profession with great people in it, doing great work. And I love every minute of it. And I'm glad to share this profession with so many great people and just keep doing out there, doing the great work and using this platform as an opportunity to do so.
I'd like to thank Coach Mallard and Coach Masters. This has been a lot of fun. I was terrible, and it went great. The coaches that I've stolen stuff from, this 3-3 stack is it's from a guy by the name of Chad Hetlett. He's at Lombard West High School. They're one of the top teams repeatedly in the state of Illinois. And I got that defense by way of a guy by the name of Jeremy Cordell, who was my defensive coordinator, one of my first years coaching. And without these guys, taking the time and helping me learn this defense, I wouldn't be talking to you guys. So, this is a game where I got into coaching because a coach took a special interest in me. And I don't know where I'd be if he didn't take that special interest in me and as a college kid. So my goal in coaching is to pay it forward, and hopefully, I keep that influence on another young man, just as a coach did for me way back when. You can follow me on Twitter, JR Grayson, Grayson. I've written a few articles for Coach Grabowski. A few more that are still in the works. I've been on a couple podcasts, Hog Football Chat with Coach Schiffman, Coach Steve Show, the Ryan Christie podcast. They're all great podcasts by great coaches. I've been lucky enough to be on those. I would like to thank my head coach, Coach Organ. He's helped build our program into what it is today, and it's continuing to grow. Bringing myself in and our offensive coordinator, Coach Dan O'Donnell, one of my college teammates, but has helped me grow as a coordinator. Both of those guys have been instrumental in my learning as a coach and getting to where I am today. So they're a great staff to be on and great guys to work with. But yeah, again, I'm here because way back when a coach took an interest in me and got me headed in the right direction. So that's what we can hope to accomplish in coaching. So yeah, again, thanks Coach Mallard, thanks Coach Masters, and I look forward to interacting with everybody on Twitter. I'm always on Twitter. Usually complaining about the White Sox, the Bears, or retweeting something to do with football. So always open to chat. Love chatting. Love talking football. So yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.